Welcome to Learn It Training. The exercise files for today's course are located in the video description below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Hello, and welcome to Trello Intermediate. At this point, you've already used Trello a little bit and you're familiar with some basics. Maybe you've used it to track your to-dos. Maybe you've used it to coordinate with a couple of other people on a project. You already know that a Trello workspace is a collection of one or more boards, and that a board is made up of lists that usually represent stages in a workflow. And you know that cards are used to track the work that needs to get done. And that usually cards move across the board from left to right as they move through the various stages of your workflow. In this course, we'll get beyond those basics to help you and your team get more out of Trello. We'll look at copying cards and copying checklists to save tedious manual steps. We'll look at applying filters so you can focus on just the items that need your attention. We'll connect your Trello board to your Google Calendar and a bunch of other stuff. Let's dig in.
Looking to support our channel and get a great deal? Become a member today to unlock ad-free videos. That's right, your favorite courses without a single ad. Interested in a specific video? Purchase one of our ad-free courses individually. Looking for even more? Gain access to exams, certificates, and exclusive content at learnitanytime.com. More information can be found in the video description below.
Sometimes, when making a new card, it's useful to copy from another card. You already know that you can click Add a Card to create a card from scratch, but in my scenario here, I want a card to track the work of building raised garden beds. That card is going to be very similar to this card that I already have for Build Garden Door. For example, it's going to reuse the same checklist, or at least a very similar one. And it has a picture of this garden, which also has a picture of the raised beds in it. So to make a copy of this card, all I need to do is click Copy. I can give it a new name, so I'll call this one Build Raised Beds. I'll keep the checklists. I'll keep all the other things about it. I'm going to copy it to my vegetable garden board. I'm going to put it in the to-do list, and I can select where it's going to be, and that's a fine position. And then I click Create Card. If I go ahead and close this card and I look back on my board, I'll see the new card for Build Raised Beds. Another way to copy a card is from the board view. Simply mouse over the card that you want to edit. Click the Edit Card icon and select Copy Card. You see that you have the same options as if you're in the card itself. I can create another card, choose what I want to keep, and determine where that card should go, into which list, in which position, and then click Create Card. It's just that simple. If you haven't yet used that feature of copying cards, as opposed to creating them from scratch, go ahead and give it a try now. In a situation where a team is using a board, it's useful to be able to subscribe to a card so that you'll be notified when changes occur, such as comments are added, due dates change, or the card moves into a new list. In Trello, this is called watching a card. To watch a card, open it, then click Watch. Notice that the eye icon appears. You will also see that same icon on the board view of the card. When you watch a card, you get notifications about changes that other people have made to the cards. And you'll see those notifications up in this notification alert area. If you click into here, you can explore lots of options for changing settings around notifications, such as the frequency that you receive notifications and what kinds of actions trigger notifications for you. But if you want to make changes yourself to a card and you didn't make the card and don't yet have permission to make changes, you can join the card. To join, open the card and click Join. Note that when you join a card, you are also now watching the card. From time to time, you might want to remove cards from the board to remove visual clutter. This is useful when, say, no more action is going to be done on a card. You don't need to see it on the board anymore. In my example, I have several cards here in the done list that I know nothing else is going to happen to these cards, so I can delete them. But rather than deleting, Trello offers the functionality of archiving a card. To archive a card, open it and select Archive. Note that when you close the card, this Buy Gardening Book card, you no longer see it in the done list. It's hidden in a new archived area. You can also archive a card from the board view by mousing over it, click Edit, and then click Archive. For cards that are marked as completed, you'll see an archive card icon when you mouse over the card. Simply click Archive. If I archive all of these cards that are marked as done, I've now removed some clutter from my board, making it cleaner and easier to deal with because I'm no longer seeing things that don't need any actions. If I've made a mistake and want to retrieve one of those archived cards, click on the three dots, select Archived Items, and you'll see a list of all of those. You can select one and send it back to the board if for some reason you still need to have it on your board. Note that you can also, after archiving, delete the card. This would really only be used if for some reason the card was made in error. It's highly recommended that if you've used the card, but you don't need to see it on the board anymore, you simply archive it. If your board has lots of cards on it that no longer need any action, go ahead and give archiving a try to remove that clutter from your board. If you want to change the appearance of your board, you can easily change the background to a different color or an image. To do that, from the board view, click on the three dots in the top right corner. Then select Change Background. Click on Colors to choose a different color. Or, to select an image, click Photos. You can search. I'll search for garden and select one of these. And there it is. You can also use your own images as backgrounds. To do that, go back to Change Background, click Custom, select an image, and there it is. If I'd rather change this to cover the whole board instead of tiling, I can change that by going back to that image, selecting Options, and change it to Cover instead of Tile. I think I'll go back and use a solid color because for me, that's a little bit easier on the eyes. If you're not happy with the background of your Trello board, pause the video and go ahead and try adding a photo or using a different color. Sometimes, instead of seeing all of the cards on the board, you might want to apply some filters so that you only see cards that meet certain criteria. In my example, I want to make sure every card has a due date. So it would be useful if I only saw the cards that didn't have dates assigned to them so that I would know which ones I need to add a date to. I can easily do this with filters. If I click on filter, I have several different options here. I'm going to select due dates and no dates. So only show me the cards that have no dates. Now I know which cards I need to go through to assign due dates to. Oh, but I also have some cards here that are already done. Those ones don't need due dates, so I want to remove those from this view. I can do that by modifying my filter, selecting not marked as complete. Hey, what happened? This card came back. Oh yeah, there's one more thing I need to change. Since I have two criteria here, I want to filter so that I only see cards that meet both of these criteria, not marked as complete, and also doesn't have a due date. So instead of any match, I'll say exact match. Now I only see cards that meet both of my criteria. They don't have a due date, and they aren't marked as completed. When you're done filtering, you can click Clear All to remove those filters to go back to seeing all cards. If you've used labels, you know about how they can help with visual organization by adding some colors to cards that are meaningful in the context of your board. Another option for adding some visual clues to your cards is to use stickers. From the top right corner, click Stickers, and you'll see several to choose from. Maybe I want to use this rocket ship sticker to note cards that would be really fast to do, like Get Soil Tested. Now, at a glance, in the context of my board, I can see which cards are really small tasks and should be able to be accomplished quickly. Maybe those would be good candidates for getting moved over to doing if I have a little bit of spare time to do something small. Another option is to add your own stickers. Like maybe I want a sticker to note that a card is blocked, meaning I need a bit more information in order to continue, or some obstacle needs to be overcome that I need help with before I can move on. I don't see a sticker for stop. Well, maybe I could use this one, but I have a better one on my desktop, so I can click Custom Stickers, choose this stop image. It'll take a few seconds to upload. There it is. And now I can add it to a card. Let's say there's something about this ordering seed card that I need more information about. So this stop sticker makes it really clear at a glance when looking at the board that something needs to be addressed about this card. Go ahead and try adding some stickers to your cards to add some visual clues about what's going on with those cards. You'll probably find it very useful to add some comments to cards, especially if working with other people on a card. To add comments, open a card and write a comment. This is my card for Build Fence. I want to add some notes. Maybe I'll mention that there are some different material options for building a fence. It could be made out of metal or wood. I could change this to a list and say the types of wood. Maybe it could be cedar, maybe it could be pressure-treated pine. Lots of options for adding comments and notes to your card. When you're done, click Save. You'll see the comments, and if you close the card, you'll see on the card preview within the board the icon that notes that there are comments. Those comments can be edited at any time by clicking into the card and clicking Edit. And clicking Save. You can explore other options for formatting. You can add bold or italics. Note that you can also insert emojis. You can also mention other people or use a special couple mentions like card and board to notify all members of the card or all members of the board. For software development teams, a useful feature is code snippet. Maybe I'll write a JavaScript function to build my fence with inputs for length, width, and height. And I can add the code of my function here. So there are lots of options for formatting the text within comments. They're a very useful way to communicate within the card about any conversation or any details that need to be recorded about the card. When you're collaborating with other people on boards, you might find that you've been invited to a board that you did not create. This allows you access to create and edit cards depending upon the permissions. And from time to time, if you're rolling off a project or for any other reason you no longer need to be part of a board, you can leave that board. To do that, click on the three dots in the top right corner, scroll down, and select Leave Board. Note you'll get a pop-up giving you one more chance to really choose that this is what you want to do. Yes, I want to leave the board, which will also cause me to be removed from all cards on this board. I'm done working on this project. I don't need to be a part of it anymore, so I can go ahead and leave the board. You already know that a Trello board lives within a workspace. If you are the person that created the workspace, you can control if that workspace is private or public. Let's take a look at that. To modify those settings, click on Workspaces, and then select a workspace. Click Workspace Settings, and then Workspace Settings again. Note that my workspace is marked as private. This means that it is not indexed by search engines, and it's not visible to those outside the workspace. I can invite people to it to collaborate with me on the boards within that workspace. But if I want to make this public so that anyone on the internet can see it, I click Change and then select Public. If I do that, this workspace and all the boards in it will become visible to anyone with the link and will show up in search engines like Google. But still, only those that I invite to the workspace can edit and add stuff to it. I want to leave this private, so I'll click Private and close out. In the paid version of Trello, you can also set individual boards to be private or public. But in this free version, if there's one or more boards that I want to be public, I would just create a new workspace, change the workspace visibility to public, and put any public workspaces and put any public boards under that workspace. That's an easy way to control public and private boards, even in the free version of Trello. Take a look at your workspace settings and see if you've set it to private or public, and make sure that you're using the setting that makes sense for you. If you're using Trello in a team setting where there are multiple people working on the board, you will probably find it useful to have a way to see just the cards that are assigned to you. There are a few ways to do that. One is to look for your initials. Here are mine, FB. I can see my initials on several of the cards. I know that I have a role to play in getting these cards done. Another way is to use filters. Click on Filters and select Cards Assigned to Me. Now I'm only seeing the cards that are assigned to me. A third way is to click on your account in the top right corner, then select Cards. In this view, I see a list of all the cards that are assigned to me. Note that I can even see across different boards. I see some cards from the cookbook board and some from the My Vegetable Garden board. All of these cards are assigned to me. I see that some of them are already done. I can remove these from the view by clicking Filter Cards and select Not Marked as Completed. Now I'm seeing just the cards that are assigned to me that are not yet done. This is what I need to focus on. If you haven't yet tried using one of these methods to find the cards that are assigned to you, give it a try. If you're a member of many boards, it can be useful to highlight a few of them, maybe the ones that you use the most or that are the most critical. You can use the star function to do that. Simply click on the star icon. If I expand this sidebar menu, I'll see a list of my boards, and the starred ones are listed first. Note that if I unselect the star, the sorting changes. Let me go ahead and star this one because it's the most important board for me. Another place you can do this is under Workspaces. Select a workspace, and you'll see your boards with the starred ones listed first. You can mark multiple boards with a star and remove them as needed. In my case, let me go back to just starring My Vegetable Garden. This board's the most important to me. So with just a few boards, it's not so complicated, but you can imagine if you belong to many boards, starring your most useful ones creates an easy way to find the ones that you need to be engaged with most frequently. In a previous lesson, we looked at creating checklists. This card has a checklist because I can see it has the checklist items icon. If I click into the card, I can see that checklist. I want to use these checklist items in a different card. My first step is to click somewhere to the top left of the first checklist item, drag to select all the checklist items, use my keyboard shortcut to copy, Control-C or Command-C. I'll close this card, go to my other card, Build Fence, click Checklist, click Add, and then Control-V or Command-V to paste all the items, then click Add. Each of those items now becomes a checklist item in this card. Let's look at a perhaps simpler way to achieve the same thing. Let me go ahead and delete this checklist, and I'll create a new one. Click Checklist, give it a title. Note that I have this option to copy items from And here I can select another card. I'm going to choose the checklist from my Build Garden Door card. Then click Add. All of the items are copied over, and then I can edit them as needed. A third way to achieve the same thing is to copy the whole card itself. Let's take a look at that. I go to Build Garden Door. I can copy this whole card and pick and choose which items I want to copy. In this example, I just want to copy the checklist, and I'll call this card Build Trellis. Click Create Card. If I click on the card, I see the card has been created with the checklist copied over. So those are 3 different ways that you can copy a checklist from one card to another. Previously, we've covered a couple of ways to copy a card to create a new one. You know that you can hover over a card, select Edit, and then Copy Card. Or if you're looking at a card, you can select Copy. A third way to do this is to simply hover over a card that you want to copy, use your keyboard shortcut to copy, Control-C or Command-C. Note that the card has been copied to the clipboard. Hover over where you'd like to paste the card, and then use your keyboard shortcut to paste, Control-V or Command-V. Note that the card has been added to the list. From here, you can edit as needed. Trello exists in the cloud. It's web-based. Let's talk about some of the advantages that gives you over, say, a spreadsheet that lives on your desktop or sticky notes that live at your workstation. Because Trello lives in the cloud, it offers some advantages. One is accessibility. It allows you to access your projects, boards, and lists from any device with an internet connection, whether it's a computer, tablet, or smartphone. Trello has mobile apps for iOS and Android, making it easy to manage your projects on the go. Trello integrates with other web-based tools like Slack and Dropbox, enhancing its functionality and making it a central hub for your project management needs. And lastly, and most powerfully, collaboration. Trello facilitates real-time collaboration by allowing multiple users to work on the same boards and lists simultaneously, regardless of their location. You don't need to worry about saving versions or what's the latest version, because everyone always has a most up-to-date view of the project. Often, you'll find that the work between one or more cards is related. They're connected to each other. For example, I have this card for Build Garden Door. I have another card for Build Fence. These 2 cards are related because the work is related. The door will live within the context of the fence. I can make the connection between these 2 cards explicit in Trello a couple of different ways. Let's take a look. First, I'll get the URL for the Build Fence card. I'll copy that to my clipboard. Now, I'll go to the Build Garden Door card and add a comment. I can say, this is the card for Build Fence, and then paste it. If I click Save, you'll see I now have a preview of the Build Fence card. I can see that it's in the to-do list, and when I mouse over it, I get a bit more information, such as I can see that there's a comment, it has a checklist of 5 items. You can modify the way that this preview looks by clicking Edit, hover over the card preview, click Configure, and choose another visual representation of the card. Whatever works for you. So that's one way to connect these cards together. Another way is through the attachment feature. If I click attachment, I can paste the URL to that card and click insert. And now I see the Trello card as an attachment. Same thing. I see some information about it. There's a comment. 0 of 5 checklist items are done. And if I click on it, I'll go to the Build Fence card. Let's take a look at another way to do that. Let me go back to Build Garden Door. I'll remove this attachment. To add another card as an attachment, another way, click on Attachment and start searching. Build, and I can see a list of results of cards that match my search. I'll click Build Fence. Now I have this card as an attachment. I can click on it and it brings me to the other card. Now what if I want a two-way connection? To do that, let me go back to Build Garden Door. I'll modify this attachment by clicking on the three dots. I'll modify this attachment by clicking on the three dots. Click Connect Cards. Would you like to attach Build Garden Door to Build Fence? Yes, I want to relate these cards together. Note they are now connected. Now, when I'm looking at my Build Garden Door card, I see a connection to Build Fence. When I go to the Build Fence card, I see a connection to Build Garden Door. The work of these two cards is integrally related, so now the cards are related as well. If you find there are multiple cards on your board that are connected together conceptually, try connecting them through the system by using that attachment technique and then connecting the cards so that it's a two-way connection. If you're like me, you'll also find it useful to see your due dates on your Google Calendar or whatever web-based calendar that you use to keep track of your days. There are a few ways to do this in Trello. Let's take a look at a free way to do it. First, from your board, click the three buttons in the top right corner and select Power-Ups. Power-Ups are additional functionality that you can enable for your Trello board. Some of these power-ups are free and some of them are paid. There are many, many to explore. We're going to look for one in particular. So I'll click Search and type Calendar. I want to use the one named Calendar Power-Up. So I'll select it, click Add. Now, when I close this Power-Up menu, I'll see a new icon here. This is for my Calendar Power-Up. When I click on it, I'll see a calendar view of cards with cards placed on their due dates. A handy thing about this view is that you can easily change a due date by simply dragging the card onto a new calendar day. Now let's take a look at connecting this calendar to my Google Calendar. I'll click on Settings, then Enable Sync, which is going to generate this calendar URL. I'll copy it to my clipboard. I'll go to my Google Calendar, click Other Calendars and the plus sign to add it. I'm going to add from URL, so I'll click that. I'll paste the URL and click Add Calendar. Calendar is created and it's fetching events in the background. If I close out of settings, I now see My Vegetable Garden, which is the name of my Trello board, listed in other calendars. And I can see that I have certain events for that calendar listed. If I click on one, I can see that this card, Get Soil Tested, which is currently in the to-do list, is due on Monday, April 14th. That's a free and easy way to connect your Trello cards and your Trello boards to your Google Calendar. If you haven't yet connected Trello to your web-based calendar, use that calendar power-up to make the connection. Go ahead, give it a try. Let's take a look at how to create boards and lists. To create a board, click on the plus button at the top of the page. From here, you can create your own board from scratch, or you can start with a template. Choose one from the list or explore more templates. For our example, let's go back and click Create Board. I want to create a board to track my new cookbook project. So I'll enter a title named Cookbook. I can select a different background or color. And I'll review the visibility options, and I'll leave the default setting. Then click Create. My first list, I'll give the title of Recipe Ideas. Here's where I will record all of my ideas for different recipes that I might want to include in my cookbook. My next list will be called Test and Refine. This is where I will keep track of the recipes that I'm testing and getting just right before I put them into my cookbook. And finally, I'll create a list for Done. I don't want to create a fourth list, so I'll go ahead and click the X on the rightmost list. If you need to add additional lists later, simply click on Add Another List. I think that after I've refined my recipe, I want to photograph the results so that my cookbook can include some tempting photos. So I'm going to make a new list, and I'll title it Photos. Then I'll click Add List. This list is not in the right spot for my workflow, so I'm just going to click and drag it to move it into the correct location. I think I'm going to take photographs after my recipes have been tested and refined, and before I consider that recipe done and ready for my cookbook. So I'll just drag it and drop it into the correct location. If you haven't yet created your first Trello board with lists, go ahead and give it a try now. Pause the video, give it a try, and then come on back. That's it for this Trello Intermediate course. You've gone beyond the basics to look at quick and easy ways to copy checklists from one card to another, and how to copy entire cards with a couple of keyboard clicks. You've learned an easy way to find all of the cards assigned to you, and you've connected your board to your web-based calendar so that you'll always be on top of deadlines. I'm looking forward to your using those skills, along with others that we practiced today, to get the most out of Trello.
Thanks for watching. To earn certificates and watch our courses without ads, check out LearnItAnytime.com.